USC quarterback and projected #1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, Caleb Williams, has declared for the draft. So let's talk about this, people, and if the Bears should, in fact, take the USC kid at #1. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Style back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL, here to talk about the Chicago Bears and here to talk about Caleb Williams. Folks, the inevitable happened. I don't know why people were freaking out about this as if there was any other outcome about Caleb Williams declaring for the draft. And I can't believe there were people actually thought that he wouldn't and he would go back to school for another year. Like, that was completely ludicrous to think about. But yes, he is officially declared for the draft as expected, and he is the projected #1 overall pick. Now, a lot can change between now and April with the draft, but we all know the Chicago Bears have the #1 overall pick and have a big decision to make whether or not they will take Caleb or whether they will stick with Justin Fields. And so in this video, what I wanted to do was just kind of talk about this decision, but also take a look at Caleb and see what kind of holes we can poke into Caleb. Because here's the thing, he's the projected #1 overall pick for a reason. Everyone knows the good about Caleb Williams, right? But is there anything to worry about? And so the first thing I want to do is take a look at his scouting reports. Because, look, I'm not a tape bro. There's a lot of people that know way more football than I do that break it down. And so all I can do is lean on their expertise. So I wanted to just look up some scouting reports on Caleb Williams and take a look and see, you know, kind of what they see about Caleb that are weaknesses. So here we go. The first one, this is from NFLDraftBuzz.com. Scouting report, his weaknesses: doesn't have the prototypical size for the position, standing at just 6'1" and weighing it at 215. May be an injury risk going forward, especially considering his play style. At USC, Williams plays in a simplistic offense, mainly consisting of one-read concepts. He would perform, how he would perform, I guess, in a traditional pro offense is uncertain. Has played exclusively in the shotgun. At the moment, he would be a work in progress as a drop-back passer. His mechanics are hit or miss, and his footwork needs cleaning up, although most of these issues are hidden by arm talent. Williams tends to hold the ball loosely and away from his body, putting him at risk for strip sacks. All right, so that was the first one, and here's another one. This is from ProFootballNetwork.com. Here are some of his weaknesses. Is vulnerable to shouldering too much of the offense's responsibilities, causing him to pass on quick throws in favor of extending plays down the field. Can be too reliant on his elite arm talent to make throws, compromising his footwork and balance, leading to missed throws. He was not exposed to a more sophisticated timing-based offense, so adjusting to more advanced play calls, formations, and route combinations could include a learning curve. Prone to get happy feet and breaking out of the pocket before it's necessary. He can find a better balance between being a playmaker and taking the easier throw to extend drives. This can become a bigger weakness due to a lack of anticipation or pre-snap understanding of coverages. And his size is not ideal, lacking height and fuller frame than his peers, although batted balls were not an issue in college. Several shorter NFL QBs have struggled with middle-of-the-field throws due to lack of height and or length. All right, so a lot to break down and dissect there, okay? So the reason I wanted to bring up the weaknesses specifically, and I'm not trying to pick at Caleb Williams, but the reason I want to do this is because the guy we currently have in Justin Fields, right? What are his weaknesses compared to the guy that we could potentially draft? Because when we talk about a generational prospect, right, like an Andrew Luck, I'm not even going to say Trevor Lawrence because I don't think Lawrence has been that impressive so far in the NFL. Andrew Luck was a generational prospect who lived up to kind of his stature as a generational prospect. If we're talking about a guy like Andrew Luck, man, you look at him and that guy was able to deliver the football from the pocket with timing, with accuracy, with poise, with anticipation. And so what I'm seeing here in the weaknesses, and again, I'm going off of what the experts are saying, right, that have studied the tape, is Caleb Williams has some of the same issues, not all, but some of the same issues as Justin Fields, of holding on to the football too long, being more of a one-read quarterback, going for the home run play, not necessarily being a great drop-back passer, tending to get happy feet, escaping from the pocket before he needs to. And that kind of scares me, folks. That kind of scares me because if we go from Justin to Caleb and we have the same issues, like that almost feels like, you're making the same mistake twice. And instead, we could have traded the pick, gotten a haul, right? Gotten a bunch of playmakers and, filled out the roster completely and have kept Justin, and we would have still had the same issues. But hey, at least we got to get a haul for that number 1 pick. And so I'm not opposed to drafting Caleb. I certainly think, it's worthy of a discussion and a debate for sure, because Justin has not done himself any favors by closing this debate. That's why it is a debate. But I just think it worries me that Caleb is not that type of quarterback. What I mean by that is, if Caleb was again, prototypical pocket passing quarterback with a little bit of mobility, I don't want a Joe Flacco or Kirk Cousins back there, but, if he was like Andrew Luck is a perfect example. If he was like an Andrew Luck type of passer from the pocket, I think I would feel much better about taking him than I do now, because, hey, he does a lot of the same things that Fields does in terms of his weaknesses. Now, he's got a lot of great strengths. Again, we know why. He is the number 1 projected overall pick. Rocket arm, just rocket. He's been compared to Patrick Mahomes. He can make every throw on the football field. We know that. But it's just some food for thought for you guys. Ultimately, I've kind of made my point known here in a previous video about what I think the Bears will do. I think Ryan Poles will pull the trigger and take Caleb Williams with the number 1 overall pick. I just think he feels like he won't be able to pass up on this opportunity of having the number 1 overall pick with a prospect like this. But if it ends up being where Caleb struggles with the similar things that Justin struggles with, man, I'm not going to be surprised. I hope that's not the case, but I'm not going to be too surprised. So let's see what happens here. But yeah, man, Caleb Williams has declared for the draft. It was expected and it has happened. And now the Chicago Bears are officially on the clock. Let's see what they do. As always, thanks for watching.